able to register for the housing, I feel that the way we read it was that we have to go ahead and register you under Blue Panda. We want to make sure that everybody that is on the list is really wanting to go before we do. So in so I do have a list of the middle school and upper schoolers that we feel have told us that they want to go. But I want parents to tell me that with going too, because you have to your student, your child, to go on this adventure. So I don't know. Are that correct that the housing deadline is May 1st?
That is correct.
Okay, so for all of you parents, we are going to give you some guides on here, but there's some links that have like fun facts about how to get the housing done. You must use the housing that is given to us by the national leadership, by FBLA. If you stay somewhere else, then you are not technically registered and you won't be able to compete. So it's really important that you make sure that you are in the right hotel system. So on here it says advisors will manage the registration process. So after this meeting, um, to get a call from everyone that you're good with going and that your student is coming with us, um, that we will then register for you. You are red and blue for, for and then after that, if there's information, we will. But otherwise, you will be able to go in and housing take. Um, yes, yes, the parent needs to go with the yes. We will have I think Jones, Ed son is going also going to be acting um, one of the chaperones, I believe. um, Vish Srini is going to go and I'd like to act a which I could go and some might know me from I run this, so I to be able to get away to bill, but unfortunately right now it's not looking good. Families will make reservations once the registration is completed, and you will take your flight registration. Right here is the C website, and so clickable. Uh, sorry to look at the question. I'm gonna stop because
I'll respond on there.
it's something else on the screen. Um, so the National Leadership Conference web right there linked for you, so you can go and look at any of that we have shared. Also, can just confirm, or if we put on here isn't enough, it can go into depth if you go. The member fee is $195, but that includes your future leaders, expo hall, 3 days of the workshop sessions, access to the conference app, which is really important. That helps you know where you're going, what you're doing. Networking opportunities. At the end, I'm going to talk a little bit about what the kids had said about what they liked about the networking opportunities, which was kind of nice, and costs associated with the competition. A couple other things. If you see over where it says click here for the detailed NLC registration guide, that has been the Bible that we have been looking at to try to get all the information on A, this slideshow, or B, just in our heads about what's going on. So if when you leave here today, you have any other questions, this is the link I would go to where it says click here for NLC registration. Um, I do the attendee media consent. It is maybe some of our students. If you are on the no photo list at Columbus Academy for a reason, you may want to look at that in the guide. It is an opt out option if you don't want their photo taken. Last year, I think a group of students photo taken, and it was used on a lot of publications. So great. I think that's awesome, and they seeing their faces represented for FBLA. But if that is something you feel strongly about, there I would definitely read through that and click the link that tells you how to take care of that. And the other thing, which I've already mentioned, is the housing requirement that all parents, guardians are required to stay at the designated block of hotels. That's during the conference. Now, if you go taking it into a vacation and you wanted elsewhere before or after, that's not going to hurt anything, obviously. But to actually participate in the have to stay in the designated block of hotels. Okay. Let's see. So you, the advisor and chaperone fee is $125. My understanding that when we register everybody, we will pay up front and then we will transfer those fees over to your accounts, your student accounts. So everybody will see 195 now. I think there might be siblings that are going as well, so that would double that. And then Jessica put down some of like the late fees and things like that down at the bottom. I'm hoping that we can have everything done prior to the 13th and we don't have to worry about any of that. So I'm going to skip over that for now. The hotel logistics, and yes, got from Arsha that is May 1st. So we've got to get our hotel stuff taken care of tomorrow and the remainder of this week. There is an HPN. I don't know what that stands for. Arshia, do you know what HPN stands for?
I think they're the kind of like the middleman getting us like the discount with FBLA National in the hotels.
Gotcha. Perfect. So it's got an email address, the phone number, anything you want to do to ask questions from the hotel coordinator. Then there are room blocks. I think that parents are making their own arrangements. So we're not doing a block of rooms. Sorry, I've got a new admit. So I think in what you did last, you tell me if I'm wrong. What you did last, you just made your reservation at the right hotel. We created to help connect everybody so that we knew when the shuttles were running, made sure that we had, our chaperones in the right spaces and connecting with the kids as needed. So if parents, you're kind of active member of this while we're at the conference, you do chaperone, but you are responding your kiddos where they need to go. That said, there is a shuttle, and that was one of the tips and tricks that one of the students wanted to share. That there is a shuttle, and typically you guys combine and the on that shuttle. So you guys, it's just going to be a real it's a communication game. You've got to make sure that we have all of our I's dotted and T's crossed for communication. So that's a little bit about the hotel. This is more of the logistics of the hotel. There is a link. So for specific instructions for booking rooms can be found here. Jessica made a hyperlink for that. So that goes directly. Let's see if it'll let me do it while I'm. No. But if you click on that, it will go to some very, very detailed instructions on how to make sure rooms booked. The room, including taxes and fees, on there to give you an idea of cost. But depending on if you extend things, either way, that could affect. I don't know if they would discount outside days of. I've been to conferences that do that before. That if you are staying extra, so they give you the. I can't confirm yet that that would be the case. Travel logistics. This is another important thing for you. Looks like United Airlines is the one they really want you to go with. There's so many connections. You see there's a discount code to make it a little bit easier for you can make them online. And again, Jessica made a hyperlink for the step-by-step from FBLA of how to get your travel arranged. So that's going to be in this as well. Now, American Airlines and Delta is also, they can do a discount, but if you, American Airlines for conference specific, so it's not going to be an easy type in the numbers. You have to request by using this form to get that discount. Airlines, there's a hyperlink in there to click flights through Delta getting their discount. I don't know how frequent miles work. Most of you probably travel more than I do. I'm sure that if you need questions, you could call that number and make sure we get all the discounts we possibly get. Airport shuttle. This is also a guide. So we just pulled a few things and made easier links for you. Gives you for the shuttle and whatnot from the airport. This is just information a little bit about the conference. I would suggest going to oh, didn't need admitted. There we go. See what they say about the events. And so this is one of the kind of fun events down that because there's a cost involved, we wanted to make sure that we kind of put a list, but the FBLA night with the Los Angeles Angels would be really cool to go to on the 28th at 6:30. The ticket is $7. You can secure your tickets by that link that's slides. There's also a few other fun events going on, so I suggest that you go to that link at the first slide to the guide and just peruse. There is specifically for this. Here, we try to make it a little bit that the general dates be found on page 13 through 15, and again, and then competitive event schedules. So they have that. Different states, they didn't have that till quite late. A lot of people were asking for it. They have it already. So
They are tentative.
oh, gotcha.
Just-
Okay. So maybe it's gives you an idea of how things might membership award ceremony, which will be good to go to. We want to we do the conference, we do it from beginning to end. We want to make sure the kiddos get the experience of conference. And to a lot of things you can do. If you see the little here, it there is a possibility, and maybe Arsha, maybe tell me if I'm wrong. Someone does not, if they didn't,
Yeah.
I guess the word is I'm looking for going to nationals because they placed the open event. Has that or is that an option?
That's still an option to like register.
So I know we had was really go,
Mhm.
and could you speak to how they do that? That's something they sign up
Mhm.
for?
So our competitive events director, Junior, is really the one involved with this. So if students refuse to go or if they're able to attend that, open up the to fifth place, and if they haven't responded within that April timeframe, like ending as registrations kind of you're opening it up to anyone who's interested in going to NLC. If you have any students, just out to Junior Calton. I can throw his email in the chat, guys. But send him just I guess a list of the top students interested in and get them in to compete for nationals.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you for that information. There's some schedules there. The fact sheet is just try to pull things that we found interesting and helpful program in the guide.
We had a good question that came.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the awards July 1st and the awards ceremony on July 2nd? Speak to that. I thought that we don't have like officers or like Golden Seal awards. We haven't gone for any of that, so I'm assuming that's July 2nd.
That's normally what they're talking about when awards to things like BAA, the Business Achievement Awards, and just those like chapter C. But yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so parents know there are other things that you can do to the awards you're talking about. We not focused on those this season just to get our feet under us. Next year, we can have a group go for champion chapter or the SEAL award or something. Definitely something we want to look into for the future. What the last meeting we're in, hold on, I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you for putting up Junior's info. Yeah, he's a resource that really helps a lot with state conference, and he's very, very easy to talk to and very good. So yeah, if you have some specific questions, he's a really great resource.
Sorry. The dogs were going crazy. Was tips from this FBLA went to nationals last year. So when from the hotel conference center, you can shuttle. So as it came up, it's like, oh, we have to, and we have to do. You don't have to. You could if you wanted to, but it's completely up. So Uber, we chaperones or parents with kids, of course, but there is a And so last year they communicated, and there was always a chaperone on the shuttle with going over to the conference. So that made that a little bit easier. When you think of the hotel further away from the conference center, you do have they are I don't know if sanctioned is they are brought there by FBI. No one else but conference members are going to the bus or on that shuttle. Okay, and then they want a pin trading fund, a must when participating in that conference. Apparently, that they can trade. I don't know if you, but there's it's kind of that pin situation where working tool. And one of the things that came out of it was that they can meet people from they can meet people from all over the country and then maybe all over the world, because in groups that may be with us that for the conference, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So that's all. We're going to meet people from all over the world at this conference, and trading is just an easy conversation. There will be a meeting, all Ohio chapters meeting, a networking opportunity, which they also enjoyed and something that they want to do. Some tips and tricks from they also said that this is a big conference. You must be with a parent and times. Travel with at least one other person always. Make sure that that one somebody has a phone. Stick to a meeting up location for anyone that's separated. Like if there is a very statue or easy to find something, make sure that we know where our meeting is, and be alert when watching crowds and a system for communication with each other. It'll be very, very helpful. Things that the players that went last year wanted you to know about the self. So basics of what right now. So these are the middle schoolers that I have listed, that we have listed right now. The nationals. By tomorrow, we are going to want these folks, and if we have reason to think that they're not going, we will know that. Schoolers, we have just that are on the list. Again, I know if any of these are not going, because we will go ahead because of the hotel reservation, those into Blue Panther as we can tomorrow. So we can go back to that. I don't know. I think here your child has probably signed themselves to do this. That I have, and that is of my slides. So what questions, or do you need resources? I'm going to be quiet for a minute. If anybody would like to talk or ask some questions of the student.
I have a question.
Hi.
Hi, this is Rian Avni's dad.
Yes.
Can you clarify what the two different award ceremonies are at the end? Which is the one which I'm supposed to attend? Is it the last day one or the day before that?
I'm looking right now, and I believe so. The award ceremony is July 1st. States from the guide that this is champion chapter award for local and state school and middle school chapters awards. So like if they did a challenge, there's various that they could have competed in. Place trophies for champion, all banners and plaques for 10th place winners for local and so July 1st is the main awards for everybody.
I see. So we don't have July 2nd one then.
You do not. We don't have any offers or extra challenges that we went for this year. Nor did we do the champion track seal that award either. So July 1st, everybody should be completed.
Perfect. And then the question is for the so we should expect the link to us to make that reservation. Is that correct?
We're gonna share this as I'm gonna save this as the slide so that you can click all of the links in the slide, do your flights and your hotel, and access the guide, all slides after the meeting.
Oh yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a quick question. Is the expectation that the kids are at the event the entire day, all days, regardless of what their individual event schedule is?
That's really, and I think that there are and sessions that they are going to be signing up to as part, like if you or I went to a conference for education, we would go from shop to workshop and we would get things that the conference has. The competition is only just of the whole conference. Maybe Arshia, anything besides the workshops and sessions that would be a part of?
Yeah, so at national we have like students from across the country for national office. So at the X, which is maybe at the convention, students can check out the different national office meetings, and you guys will have the opportunity to vote for the North Central Region Vice President. And you can also meet different universities, colleges, as well as some business invited to just present and just network.
I'm looking at the schedule and I'm just seeing what they have set up. They have work listed, they have the expo hall as things that you can do there. There are openings and address various leaders of FB. Then they have it structured out. The objective testing is happening, which seems mostly, and the presentation are mostly happening on Sunday. Looks like mostly Monday. There's a lot of presentation events that they can go to. Then they have voting options. So they have it for the student all day, all the days, and attend. And I think the expectation is as much of it as they can.
Yes. Also think that Ron has a question. Say something, slipped my mind. Ron, let's see.
Thanks. Yeah, is the expectation that the parents are tagging along with the student all day? Like, should I plan on taking days off work? My original thought was that I would be at the hotel and be able to be on Wi-Fi and get some work done. But I heard you say something of, we expect the students to be with their parent during the conference on the shuttle, things like that. So if you could
Yes,
just clarify.
we do ask that parents their children. We've got quite a group this year that wants to, and we have two chaperones that are able to go. And so I think since we're in California, we're in a place where we're safe because transportation, they're not getting an Uber and taxis and things like that. And they've done a very good making it safe. I just think that yes, the parents are responsible for those at the conference. Said we will have a couple of I know that last year I know only I was last year, but I believe Vishnu helped to schedule and plan a dinner for all the parents and all the kids. They might do a pull off where they do pizza at some, maybe there's a law there and they might do, we did that last, but we do events are active events. Did that question about what was going to during the conference?
It did. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Alyssa, this is Jen. I have a question, and I apologize if you spoke to it, but since he qualified, took the actual test, he didn't compete with a team per se. Like, what is appropriate for him at this conference?
Yes, he will be taking, I believe, so Ashra, he won first on economics board in the economics test. Maybe I'll shut up and I'll explain what happens for
Yeah.
him.
For sure. There's this test. You guys will be given a slot, and there's like a they'll all be directed towards, and all this will be virtually. So make sure you bring your laptop to test online, and it'll be a preliminary round. So if he places and qualifies as a finalist, he will then have to take the test at nationals, which again there's roll out. And if you follow, you will be kind of motion towards your event with your given timing changes, and if it isn't what it is right now. But if again, so there's that preliminary round that he has to qualify for as a finalist. Timings will be on the app. You guys get registered, you'll get the app information, things like that. And then if he qualifies into that round, he will again have to take another test. He'll be notified at the Awards of Excellence.
Okay, so what does he do the rest of the time he's there? He's just involved in workshops and such?
Shops, you can also hold, there's a looking up there. And then even that there's a social night. I think it's that guys come in on the 8th. Also some for people to explore the city as well. But yeah.
All right, thank you.
Jennifer, if you wanted to, when you guide, I can't find the paper or the page right off the bat, of course. But it does have a of what the schedule looks like and give some of additional that they can do around town. We only put the one at a pretty cost involved, the Fort game. But there are other things they can do around town as well, and it's listed in that schedule.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm just reading the chat. To be clear, is the award ceremony on 7/1 or 7?
1.
Okay, well, it says one more thing to note about the Awards of Excellence ceremony. Competitive event awards will be awarded.
I'm sorry to cut on that last day. So the award was when the competitive event awards were announced. So when individuals go and collect those, it's gonna be different from those membership awards, and it does run a little late. So that's like up to your or not you guys want to stay for the whole set. If you guys
I know that for state they preferred us because you're getting at that time. So maybe in your just think about I would include it, excluding it if they win. You're probably going to want to be there. And Brand.
Hi.
Hi.
So my question is around, the parents' attendance. So let's say that both parents wanted to attend. Would we have the ability to kind of trade off in responsibility? So if one day dad wanted to kind of be that person and the next day switch, or is it like, do we have to register as that person,
There's day passes, right, for the conference. Of a student, do they have to register? Not gate passes. Passes.
If they're registered as a chaperone, yes, should. There's like that minimum requirement. Being as a guest, I'm sure on the registration itself, you can like register them as a guest, and they pass for that.
And last year there was, I think, had to because of the switch offs that he had to use. As long as multiple people going in, we've paid for the number that are over there.
Yeah.
Should be fine. You can pass off those back and forth.
Yeah.
Sorry, one more question. So cost for the chaperone $195 as well?
No, it is, I think, 125. Let me go back here. I'm pretty sure it was 5. But I think that's the chaperone rate that gets you into the conference period. You are registered, students are registered. There it is. Yeah, advisor fee is 125.
Thank you.
No problem.
Do the parents have to, are they 25?
Oh, no, that in a slide, but it is, I don't know if I'll be able to find it quickly, but it is in the, I'm in a meeting and then, thank you. Sorry, my kiddo made me a grilled cheese sandwich. Awesome. Can you take the, yeah. Okay, there is a section in talks about the gas. I'm not sure I'm going to be left to, pick it up. I don't know if,
Let me see if I can.
sorry, I had printed so I could look about that.
There are guest passes, which are $5 per session. To attend though, that attend sessions and like to competitive events, we should probably clarify if parents who are running need to, because I'm not sure if attending with their child, I'm not sure they need to pay.
Can I, the way I read it before, it sounded like if you're a chaperone, you've already paid you can go over, you have a pass, it's going to all the days, right? You are if you're a parent coming over, you would just be getting the gas. You wouldn't have both if that you would have some freedom, whereas a strap would be there the whole time. As parents could switch off, but you would have to get a guest pass to come over to the conference. That's Asha, drive that right.
I don't have information regarding the guest pass, but the chaperone I can confirm. I can switch that around between.
Okay, so let me, after this, some questions over to Eric, a representative for the Ohio BLA, and guest pass will be get some clarification. Okay.
And thank you for the question about the iPad laptop. All of our students have iPads, however, we don't issue labels per se.
Mhm.
So if a student is for an objective test, does that mean they bring kind of a laptop?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, personally, that's ideal.
Okay. And will not work, or
I think, they have like a set of regulations, kind of people to have just I don't know, things like cheating. I haven't seen schools bring in an iPad, so I recommend you bring them just so it won't be when you go to test.
Yeah, if I can speak to that, we were the proctors here, and I will say iPads were a little bit more difficult to take the test on. It jumped more readily, whereas the iPad stuck with the program. One of those things, again, for cheating, like if it's even just a little bit off the screen, gone to another, gone somewhere else, which means then you could information from and to answer those questions. I can speak to the want the best opportunity. The computer is going to be better. Yeah. It's a lot. I know. I'm very excited for us all to get to go. Don't know. Again, I don't know, but I feel like if all of you people, once we send this to you, on this slide where it says for the detailed registration, that is a resource. It's so many Europe, anything about or hotels or whatnot. And don't forget that we did put some links in here specifically for some of the I think it was further. Okay. So like for the hotel, they had quick links, and they also had like fact sheets, like commonly asked questions. So those might be helpful as well. And so like here on this one, you'll see where it says booking instructions found here. They're very detailed instructions. Is there anything else anybody might have before we end the meeting today? Well, I hope this was informative. There is a lot of information. I mean, trust the FBLA, they are constantly busy because there's a lot of information that comes to us almost daily. And it's going to be an amazing trip. I was an FBLAer when I was in high school, and it was an amazing opportunity. I do think I have some abilities now that I wouldn't have had I not had that experience, and those conference experiences were nothing like anything else I could have gotten, even through, this amazing school that we have. It's just another layer that gives them another leg up on things that they might see once they get out into the world. So I highly recommend it. If we could, I'm not sure what the best option here is. The list that I have now are the kids going. If your child is not going, if you could please shoot me an email, because tomorrow we will be registering through Blue Panda and paying for their registration. So that's probably the easiest way that happen is if you let me know if they're not going to participate. And then lastly, I just want to make a quick announcement that the service committee is doing a cookie baking project, and we sent out a survey that I think maybe has been overlooked just because there's so much information going out right now. But if you are able to come as a volunteer, or if you could encourage your student to be able to come on May 10th from 9 to noon, we're baking cookies for Faith Mission. And that's our service project for this season. And then on May 20th, your kiddos are going to get to see a speaker at Academy during their regular FBLA meeting time. So there are two things that are going to go on here at home too, to encourage them to continue with their FBLA work. And that's all I've got. I'll stay until everybody's gone or until all the questions are answered. If you feel good, then you are free to go. Thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. I think we had 27
Can I
people on there.
Good question. I want to ask you, this is Crystal Bob's mom.
Hi.
She the fly out to out from on night.
Okay.
How does that impact her?
I don't know. Asha, Arsha, I feel like
Yes. Arsha, yeah. So you're flying in that on the 29th evening?
Yes, like we would get there, like we would leave Cincinnati and just fly straight out, and then get there in the evening. So she would be